forward. I want to say that the strength I have is because of the visits, the number of visits we have received. Politicians seated here who are visiting. Right Honorable, you had no choice. You are my nephew. So you are always there, and we thank you for that. The MP for Kwanza, Ferdinand Wanyonyi, if you are here, thank you very much. Yes, thank you for allowing us to come. We were there on Thursday because my father-in-law insisted that he wanted his son to be taken to his home. Ferdinand, thank you very much. We are very grateful that you made it possible. And not only that, we refused to allow politics. We said we just wanted to mourn with my mother-in-law and the siblings, and we did mourn. Yes. And we had a good session with the pastors, the Church of Elimu, the bishop. We are very grateful. So after that, we proceeded home. So I must say, those visits, Mheshimiwa Busai, you were with us. You gave us a good reception. You've been with us. You even visited Nairobi. Also, Ferdinand visited Nairobi. And many of you politicians came home. You came home, and I believed when religious people kept on saying, they would come and say, your husband, your father is going to give a testimony. He's going to give a testimony. He will recover from this illness and he'll give a testimony. Dr. Oyugi, you were one of the people who kept on saying, he will give a testimony. I think this is the testimony we are being talked about, because we were wondering, Rachel would ask, but if Daddy is not talking, then how will he give the testimony? Let me tell you, that's what kept us driving, Your Excellency. That's what kept us going, because we were told he's going to give a testimony. Because of the position he had, we had to cut off many of our friends. We had to cut off a lot of the social life. So when we were told he was going to give a testimony, we didn't understand how he was going to do it. I have come to meet so many of you whom I had never met before. Some of you came home. I had never met you. Some of you couldn't get me home, and you called in, yes. And I'm very grateful. That's what has kept me strong. And my prayer is, please continue praying for me and my family to keep us strong. I can't leave the stage without mentioning that, Your Excellency, you gave me, in this process of the chair, I acquired 2 daughters. One is Susan Nahomicha. I will not ask her to come forward because she spoke yesterday. Thank you very much. You sent her to me the day you learned that we had a problem with Professor Hainga also. And I also want to thank Professor Hainga. When my father-in-law was sick, I learned of it around 1 a.m. I called Professor Hainga, that was the other day, and I said to him, my father-in-law has a wound that is giving him trouble as a result of a road accident. You may not have known that when my father-in-law was coming to Nairobi, just before Chairman passed on, he had a road accident. I had not been informed he was coming, so when I called, just to call, and I'm told he's had a road accident in Eldoret. In that accident, 3 people lost their lives. But my father-in-law, I thank God for him. He came out well, but later it was discovered there was an injury on his leg, and apparently an infection set in. Professor Hainga is an expert on wounds, so when I called him, he called the hospital that night, and he has been following up on his case. And he assured me that he spoke to the surgeons of Cherengani, and he's comfortable with the quality of the doctors that were there. So thank you. My daughter, social media gave me to her. It's the only thing social media has done to me, positive, to give me a daughter. The rest of the time they have bashed us, they have attacked us. But there's one thing Chairman said to us. Ignore those people. Just ignore them. They've killed him so many times. In fact, every time I get so many calls coming in, I know social media has killed my husband. So I just go cutting off and saying, he's okay, he's okay, he's okay. And everybody says, oh, thank God, we were actually inquiring, what is this we have read? So social media has really not been fair to us. Now that he has rested, I hope they will give us some peace. It has been so difficult. Initially, I didn't have it as rough because I used to trade under the name Mrs. Wanyonyi because I found him as Wanyonyi and Company Advocates. But social media thought I was hiding the name Chebukati. Even, Mr. President, when I went for vetting, an MP walked in and said, during vetting, why are you not using your husband's name? Why are you hiding your name? I said, I'm not hiding my name. The man is called Wanyonyi Wafula Chebukati. So I am Mrs. Wanyonyi. So he was very surprised that I have, in fact, the chair of the committee, I made a joke and said, this lady is having two names of her husband. How many of you here even, the wives even carry one name? I can see some of you smiling, Senator King. So, I must say, he has protected us. He told us, wachana na social media, when you see any bad report, just look at it that this person is making money. Ignore. Wachana naye. Yeye anatengeneza pesa. Na anatengeneza pesa kukutumia. So if they want to continue making money, let them talk about the good things that I have had. The tributes that have come out. If there's anybody who knows chairman, it is IEBC. They had a big ceremony. They requested for 3 hours. We gave them 3 hours. They did a beautiful candle. And they will, I don't know if they'll have a chance to talk, but those are the people who know the chairman. If you say chairman is stone-faced, you don't know the chairman. Chairman talks more than I do. I'm said to be chatty, but he chats more than I do, and his friends will tell you. And I think they have alluded to that. The other daughter, Mr. President, you gave me is a lady called Rose Wanja. I don't know if she's in the house. She must be around. Rose Wanja started the journey of taking the chairman to Germany. She's the one who organized our trips and ensured that we got to Germany. When we came back the second time round, Your Excellency, I don't know whether she was the one to do it, she came in and she assisted. In addition to the team that you had at the office of the President. So, I will take this opportunity to also thank the doctors who started the journey, Dr. Warshaw, Dr. Kureshi, or Mr. Kureshi, Dr. Magoha, Dr. Kiare, Dr. Silverstein, and Dr. Kahuho. These people came out for him. Even when we were giving up, they were giving up. It is us who encouraged them, and they came back. And they kept on saying, it is you people who have made us what we are in terms of chairman. Because chairman was resilient. He decided he'll remain strong. He did not respond the way other patients respond. And the doctors were very surprised. And they attributed that to the backup that he was getting from home, which is true. We stopped at nothing. Nothing. And that's where I can thank my commission of revenue allocation and the staff, because sometimes I would have to adjust programs. If we were supposed to travel far, I would insist, no, can we have these meetings in the boardrooms? So they sacrificed their per diems so that I could have meetings in headquarters. I really thank them. I cannot sit down without thanking the Honorable Speaker. You even visited him. You went all the way to Germany to see him. These children of mine you see here are the force behind Chairman's long stay, because they were there. Rachel came up with a timetable, and we all had to adhere to it. And it worked, and we gave him extra time. If you go and Google glioblastoma, it's 4 to 6 months. Chairman did 21 months. That is because of the support. But again, you need to be able to have a good medical team. Your Excellency the President, I stand here to sincerely thank you. You gave the chairman his extra months You gave the chairman. You gave him, you allowed God's report to be honored, because the doctor's report, we already knew it. At the back of our minds, the doctors kept saying, one day at a time, one day at a time. We knew, but we kept going. We kept going. And when news came that he's going to give a testimony from all the religious people, I thank my pastor, Kilonzo. These are people who are in my alumni group. Susan, people, the alumni of Kenya High School. These are people who used to pray. Bishop Mutali, Brother Ferdinand, they prayed and they prayed for us. That's what kept us going. I also want to thank those who visited home. I want to thank every hour. I couldn't even write a tribute. I had no time. Because you try to move, a team is coming. So a team, they came up with a schedule. Actually, I felt like I was now in some proper state office, because there was a schedule. And if you came late, like the day the judges came, they came late. And then, thank God, it was the politicians coming next. And you know how politicians are impatient. So they managed to assist us with that program, because now the judges realized they're under pressure, so they had to leave. So that is how we were operating in Nairobi. So there was hardly any time to do anything. I want to thank Kenyans that have come out for us, our friends, our relatives. The team that you saw singing here are called Akili Nimali. Those are children of my cousins, my mothers. They are my first cousins. They have been so supportive. I want to pull out Engineer David. Engineer David, please, as I speak, come forward. Engineer David Muchilwa, I'm sure he's somewhere out there. Please come forward. David Muchilwa once worked as acting Director General of Kera, and his father and my mother are brother and sister. The other Muchilwas are also there. Another one I pick out is Vera Umurambi. Vera is here. So these two were our liaison between the two committees, the Nairobi committee and the Kitale committee. You have done a wonderful job. David, I don't know whether you will now get any sleep, because you've not been sleeping. Your body must be tuned to be a 24-hour body. We had the Kitale committee. I know this may come out in vote of thanks, but I want to give personal thanks to Engineer Kute, who was heading the Kitale committee. Please come forward. You will not speak because of time. I thank you and the team. And when I'm told Madam got unwell, you handed over to your vice, Muliro, and he did a very good job. I thank you for that. So, Mr. President, you called me to give me condolences. And you asked me, how are things? Are you okay? How is your budget? And I said, if I was to have chairman's guests alone, I would have managed because of my friends, the support from my friends and relatives. And if your relatives are the speaker here, then you shouldn't have a problem, and other politicians. But because today the guests may not be mine, I may have a problem. Much as I've received so many bulls, even yesterday I received one from the governor. Speaker, you've given us almost 3 bulls already. The president said, leave it to me. So today, you are the guests of the president, not mine. Yesterday, you were my guests, right from Wednesday, Thursday, yesterday, until this morning. Thereafter, you are in the hands of the state. We cannot thank you more. Because to come up with this, the kind of people, I mean, when you come to stand, you will see what is happening out there. It stretches all the way beyond the tent, left and right. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. On behalf of my family, I know it has not been easy for us, but we stand encouraged. Those of you who have been giving us promises of how you will visit us, we have received so many gifts, milk, bread, sugar, everything. It's still there. Please come and visit us and keep on encouraging us. That is all we require from you. May God bless you.
Let's appreciate Mama Mary, even as she takes her seat. Yeah, thank you. As you know, this is their day, and there is very little we could do to be able to control, and she needed to do that. Thank you. Your Excellency, I want to beg your indulgence and with your special permission to allow us to do 2 items of this service, Your Excellency, because this is a church service